Hello everybody, Dark Skeleton here, and I have a bit of a correction to make from earlier. In my last Hearthstone card review for Old Gods, I said that Thistle Tea was a Druid card. If you look closely, it is clearly the Rogue Grey. This was pointed out in the comments, rightfully so, my bad. So we're going to give this another shot at a more proper review of the card. So, given that this is not a competition for Nourish, it's more competition for Sprint, this kind of brings a little bit of a different discussion. Although Sprint and Nourish aren't that different of cards either, honestly. But for Rogues, draw a card, add 2 copies of it to your hand. Similar to Druid, actually. I mean, the review doesn't change that much. I could see this being played in one of either 2 decks. One is a really slow control, probably Reno style of deck, something that I've been playing around with quite a bit. Haven't really made it like Legend competitive or anything, but it kind of works, almost. And that would involve cards, basically just play the best minions, ramp up to the late game, and then stuff some big legendaries in your deck, like a new Barak, which I think is really good in late game matches, especially if you're not playing against a priest or you've already burned through their entombs. With Warrior specifically, there's like nothing a Warrior can do against a new Barak rogue. So that's one possibility, playing it in a late game deck and going for that extra card value if it goes to Fatigue, or even if it doesn't go to Fatigue, 6 mana, draw 3. It's an okay way to spend your turn. But the main advantage is that it doesn't deck yourself out like you would with Sprint. Sprint is great in your typical preparation rogue where you're just trying to oil and then Blade Flurry and go for the kill. But if you actually need every card to count and you're not just trying to get lethal, then Sprint, it puts you too close to Fatigue too quickly, and you better have a good spell turn follow-up, probably a Blade Flurry if you are going to Sprint. However, with Thistle Tea, what I see it being useful for in that situation is you get to this situation where you're playing control versus control, and you can easily just pass 10 mana because you've already daggered up, you've got a weapon equipped. Your field is already strong enough that you don't want to commit anything more to the board. Like, if you play any more minions, Brawl is going to devastate you. Or if you just play random spells for damage, it's not going to minion trading, which means in the late game, you would lose. So, dumping 6 extra mana into Thistle Tea, I actually see as a very viable play if you can make that style of deck work. Because you're not decking yourself out, and you're getting extra value. Actually, it's in a lot of ways it's like Burgle, but the good thing is that you're guaranteed to get a card that's in your deck, so it's going to be better than an average Burgle card. Burgle, you basically add 2 random cards from your opponent's class to your hand, which sometimes can be completely useless, sometimes can be pretty good, but the unreliability of it has made it not so competitive. It's not Arcane Intellect. But Thistle Tea, especially if you know the next card that's going to be in your deck, like let's say a new Barak's your next card, and you know 100% certain it is your next card. You play Thistle Tea, your opponent can't burst you down. It's almost like playing Jiraxxus. It's like, well, you just got so much value that if you get to play it all out, you win the game 100% of the time. Brings up the question, though, is there going to be a way where you know what the next card in your deck is? Because that would be a very interesting mechanic, I think. But yeah, obviously there's been no evidence of that. The other style of deck that you can play this in would be a Mill Rogue. Well, could you even play it in Mill Rogue, though? Because Mill Rogue plays a lot faster than Fatigue Druid does. And generally you're trying to get those gang ups, Cold Light Oracles. It might actually be too slow for Mill Rogue, but yeah, you know what? It is too slow for Mill Rogue. Mill Rogue has never had an issue of drawing cards. I mean, you can easily overdraw yourself, especially if you get back-to-back Cold Light Oracles. So this won't be played in Mill Rogue. So that means the only deck I really see it being remotely viable in is those control-style rogue decks that I've been wanting to make viable for a long time, but the community is collectively, or I guess the win percentages have collectively decided, is not really the deck you want to play. I mean, why play a Fatigue Rogue when you could play a Fatigue Priest or a Fatigue Warrior? It doesn't make a lot of sense, right? Unless you're just trying to have fun like me. I hope that style of deck is a thing. You could maybe play this with preparation to, like as an alternative to Sprint. maybe Preparation Thistle Tea and then Preparation Sprint in the same deck. You add alternatives in, but do you want 3 copies of the same deck, same card, in an average, basically the equivalent of Oil Rogue or Tempo Rogue deck? I would say no. You want 4 different cards, because 4 different cards gives you more options. So Sprint would overshadow this in that deck. Yeah, so a value control rogue, or possibly a fatigue rogue. Yeah, okay, I can see this card. Adding 2 extra cards to your deck and drawing them immediately, that's pretty good, especially if you have mana to dump, which does happen with that kind of deck. Everything else, no, not really. 6 mana is paying a lot, unless you have 6 mana to burn just for the hell of it. So it can't really fit in Mill Rogue, at least from what I see. Probably won't fit in Oil Rogue as well. But Fatigue Rogue, yep. If Fatigue Rogue is a thing, this is your card. I would definitely play this over Sprint in that deck. Anyway, yeah, that's it for today. Hopefully tomorrow I actually get the cards right and look at what damn color it is. But until then, I've been Dark Skeleton. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video.